The thing that worried me though about the XBLA booth, all the games seemed like they were quite expensive to make. So it seemed like they're sort of in between, like indie and like AAA titles, like not up at 20 million or 30 million like production costs, but like a lot of them look like they could be like easily like $1 million or half a million to $1 million, which is getting pretty expensive for a downloadable title, I thought.
Yeah.
So it kind of worried me about the sort of state of the industry, that people are expecting that kind of investment into
But
that
you like
type of
Bastion.
games.
And Supergiant is just some guys in the garage. And
No, the Bastion was one of the ones that wasn't like that. So
yeah.
we really like that. So it didn't seem. It seemed like they'd done a good job within with the tools they've got and everything. But there were some other ones which are like made by big companies, big publishers, and it seemed like they've just thrown the checks, thrown checks at the products. The games weren't particularly good even. It's just that they were very big games. And so the problem is that because the big publishers can do that, and then they sell the games for like $10 or whatever, then they get unfairly, because they can do that, because they can take any kind of loss, then the smaller companies like us have trouble competing with that, because we can't invest $1 million in each game. Yeah. So it's a bit of a shame. Sometimes I feel it's a bit of a shame. It'd be good if those games they were doing were like amazing, but the difference is like they put all the effort into the graphics and the engine and the that side of things, and that's an expensive. They can outsource all the art and everything. They have tons of animations and and the stuff that we can't really do without limited resources. So, but it's a bit of a weird market gap.
Is maybe that because live is such a just larger market space in general? There's more games on it, there's more users on it.
Yeah,
it's
maybe,
just a bigger market, so you get a broader diversity, because you still get the Bastions and you still get the Limbos, you still get that sort of more indie spirited game.
Every now and then, the about once a year or so, right? In general.
I would say more often than that.
Well, I hear from the indie side of the games industry that sales on XBLA, and apart from the really big hits you sometimes hear about, the sales difference between XBLA and PSN isn't actually that different anymore.
No.
And it's from the indie side of. I don't know about like big titles that are released, on the system, but from the indie side, they say that it's about neck and neck, which it never used to be. But it's
right.
And this is before PSN went down, of course. So now I don't know what the figures are going to be.
There's some weird mechanisms in there because Microsoft has requirements for being able to get your game into the system as to how many boxed goods you've shipped and all that sort of nonsense, which is why Bastion wound up with WB.
Right.
But then the other side of that equation is now Bastion wound up with WB, and it got a tremendous marketing push because of that.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I think they're going to do quite a bit better than they would have if they had just gone it on their own.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah.
Well, we also have kind of a new project that we've been working on for a while, and
it's with Jesse Venbrooks. Is it Venbrooks or Venbrooks?
I'm actually not sure.
I should ask him. I've been working here for over 6 months now.
We're always just on our first name basis.
Jesse. He interned with us a few years ago, didn't he?
This was way before I came.
Before you came on board. He interned with us and helped us design a few stages for Eden Encore, so quite way back. And he made a game called Karoshi, which you can find articles about on like Kotaku and places like that. But it's a game where you have to kill the main character in every stage. You have to find out how to kill him in every stage. And it's quite interesting. So you kind of have to. It has all these weird rules that come into play. So it's a really interesting.
Karoshi.
Yeah, Karoshi.
And what platform?
PC. It's just a browser game.
Oh, did he make an iPhone version also?
There was recently, yeah.
Or he did iPhone something.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And he made a game on the iPhone called They Must Be Fed.
Oh, yeah.
Which is an interesting title as well. So go get that as well. But he joined us after graduating from the Netherlands. He didn't graduate from the Netherlands.
He didn't graduate from
graduated to a real country.
Yeah, he graduated to a real country. So he's graduated and now he's in Japan and he's working for us on this new title, which is PixelJunk Monsters in your browser.
Yeah.
And
the social network version.
The social network version.
PixelJunk Monsters.
Yes.
A social network.
Yes. Or maybe it'll be PixelJunk Monsters Plus.
Or some could be. We don't know yet.
Exactly.
We can't make any promises.
Exactly.
But
so we don't know what yet. But it's what we've done is we've bottled the essence of Monsters and made it into brought it into a sort of
the monster.
yeah, exactly. And
Would you like a whiff?
Parfum de Monster. But we've brought that down, and we've it's not quite the same game in total, but it is the same game in essence. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And we've added this like really really cool like experience around the whole thing to make it like something you want to come back to every day.
Right. And the way the world kind of grows as
like
you play
explore
with it.
islands and you get new stages, and it's great fun.
Yes.
And it's highly addictive as the original is, and it's also very competitive as well, which is interesting.
And you know what? Every single person who's listening right now is thinking, how are you going to monetize it?
Well, you know,
Secrets. We have secrets.
Because that's the first worry everyone has now with these games.
monetize.
Well, the first worry that they have is that, how much of this game am I going to be able to play before I know whether I'm going to pay into it, and then how much is it going to cost me to play if I get into it.
Well, right now with the base version we have, when we test play it, people get totally addicted and have great fun with it, without actually getting to the monetized part of the system.
That's good.
So really we see it as a game that people are going to keep wanting to play, and then as they expand what they're doing, they're going to feel like they want to buy some new snazzy dazzy tower or something, and we'll probably make that the monetization.
Well, I don't think there's anything evil or awful about microtransactions. We were talking about this about League of Legends earlier, and that's a game that the community adores the game,
right?
And it's entirely supported through microtransaction model, and you don't really see people bitching and moaning and complaining about it because they feel like they've got the right trade-off. It's just a really difficult trade-off to hit properly. Right?
No, we want to make sure people can really enjoy the game without having to pay anything, and then if they feel if they feel the need to, they can they can buy a Tiki Man
Vajazzle.
new costume. They can vajazzle Tiki Man.
No vajazzling. But the great thing about this?
Yes.
Like, I can tell my mother about this, and she can play this game,
Oh, I think you're talking about vajazzle.
No.
I can tell my mother she can play this game.
I'm talking about monsters.
Yes, that's
Like, she has access to this. She doesn't have to have a PlayStation 3.
And my mum as well. So.
Yeah.
Well, actually, my mum has a PS3, and she's completed Monsters. So.
And just the prospects really excite me. Being able to introduce PixelJunk to people who might not be able to play it otherwise because they don't have a PlayStation 3.
Anybody can play it.
And you can play it anywhere. You don't have to have your PlayStation 3 to play.
We've had.
I think PixelJunk games should be on other platforms.
Yep, it is.
It's a good idea.
Definitely. We have a few. We have another thing in a couple of months about that as well. So. Yes. Which we won't be putting in this podcast.
That'll be secret.
Yes.
That'll be secret.
As long as it's enough for Xbox, I'm okay with it.
Hey, just to let you know, I have a 360 and I love it.
Oh yeah.
I'm equal opportunity.
Actually, I've been playing something really interesting on my 360 recently. So basically,
didn't you just Red Ring?
It's this really cool game where
Yes.
the circle on the front of it just kind of like flashes randomly.
You have to tap the key in time with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's a music game, but I can't beat it. Like I can't get past the black screen.
No, you have to just be better at it.
Yeah, I suck. I still haven't beaten Shooter 2.
There's no excuse for
if you
that.
practice
That's
on PixelJunk
complete
Lifeline, get your beat down better, then maybe you'll be...
I could take the controller and just
exactly.
Stab yourself? No, you're not gonna stab yourself. No.
The other thing to do is just strap the controller to a Move controller, boot up Lifelike on a PS3, and pretend your 360 is working.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
So I'll get the strap on.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a regular Saturday night.
Yes.
Speaking of which, so.
Strap-ons or regular Saturday nights?
Or vajazzling.
Yeah.
We can't tell how where she's leading on from.
Well, I let it be ambiguous because that's the direction that I wanted to go.
Ambiguously gay duo.
No, it's not ambiguously gay. It has nothing to do with Saturday nights and strap-ons.
You said Saturday night.
Okay. That was not the direction I was going. So I can't go into the details. Dylan just took out the signed picture of Gary Coleman and is holding it up in front of his face.
He passed away, didn't he?
Yeah,
He really got fat at the end.
Oh,
No, in the picture.
That's mean. Let's not talk about this and stuff.
He was a kind of nice guy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But okay.
Has anyone actually met him? Does he exist? He's not imaginary like your boyfriend.
Okay. Well, no, you like.
The funny thing is, you've met one of them, but not the other.
This is great. This is really great.
I've met Gary Coleman.
That's great.
Because he exists.
This is great. Okay, so I can't tell. whose story this is. I'll leave it completely open-ended so no one ends up getting in trouble. Just an acquaintance of mine used to work at this place, right?
Yeah.
Where, a big open 3D world, right? Lots of, kind of city. It took place in the city, say, so there, lots of cityscapes, lots of tall buildings, right, in the city. So there was an artist, a certain artist who decided to.
Was he British?
No, he was not British.
Surprised.
Safe.
Yeah. Safe from the really lewd stuff.
He was not British. But he decided that he was gonna erect a giant wireframe penis.
Why would you use
inside.
that word? Why would you erect a giant?
Because it's too appropriate.
Did he?
He was going to hoist it.
Build a giant. No,
Mold
erect
it
a
with his
giant
hands.
wireframe penis.
He's really
inside.
getting that polygon count up.
Yeah.
But this happens, and this is not
It definitely happens.
unique. This is not a unique story. You hear stories about this kind of thing happening a lot. Andy Palmer, our artist here, who is the monsters and shooter
Cockmaster.
artist. He
Side scroller.
We've talked about his kind of
Homing missiles.
tendencies, the homing missiles. So one of the first mock-ups of the homing missiles in Side Scroller that he did was, we're in this serious meeting. It's in the afternoon. We're looking at really the first time that anyone can play Side Scroller, and someone uses the homing missile, and it just a giant phallic item comes out of the ship, and it's flying, and I put my head down on the desk and I start cracking up, and no one's saying anything. I'm looking around come on, guys.
It's just normal for us. We see them every day.
That's what she said.
We're a very close company.
Exactly.
So, once an after?
Yeah. So practical jokes around the office and game developers' offices happen quite a bit.
Yeah,
I think.
That, yeah.
There have been quite a few that have been happening recently. We've been trying to spread, Jamin and I have been trying to spread the douche crumpet love around the office by teaching it to Japanese staffers. And,
Right.
Like it's a real
Passing
word.
it off like a real
Yeah.
commonly used English word.
Yeah. For an idiot. And I talked to Greg, who comes by
Right.
to teach English.
Oh, yeah.
Staffers is can you use it during one of your
Make sure they know
classes?
about it.
Douche crumpet. Just use it like it's a regular word.
It's going to come out in an interview one day.
Talking about that, Eddie, one of our programmers here, he was talking to me last night, and he goes, in Kyoto right now, there's this huge festival called the Gion Festival, and it's absolutely massive, and they have these massive story, 3-story, 4-story floats that they drive around the town on Sunday. But and he was talking about that. He said, the reason why they made this festival is because of syphilis.
What?
No, Liz
No.
told me that also.
And I said, or some Japanese person or some gaijin had to be putting your leg on that, surely. And he goes, no, it's on Wikipedia, and it is on Wikipedia. And I was actually, wow, I thought someone was really putting his leg, trying
Well, Liz didn't say syphilis specifically, but she said some plague was spreading through Kyoto.
Yeah,
and then they prayed for it to go away, and then it went away, and then they had this festival to celebrate.
about 1,200 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because I guess if you're having massive health problems, the best way to fix that is with takoyaki and yakisoba in massive quantities.
And cute girls and new
And
cousins.
oh my god.
That's a really good cure for syphilis.
It's creepy.
No, I'm sorry. It's just they're so.
Speaking of which, Jake Campbell, who
was on
our intern that we
the
had on
last
the last
one, right?
episode, we kind of ran into him in this huge, massive crowd of people.
You do run into people. It's
Yeah, we
surprising.
do. We ran into him.
There's you should mention really how many people. I mean, it's like like 500,000 people in this one block.
Hundreds of thousands. It was astounding.
Yeah. And that's not even the busiest night. Tonight is going to be the busiest night.
Yeah,
It was thick.
Yeah.
It was thick.
3
And-
nights of that.
And we run into Jake Campbell, and he's he's repeating the word nampa nampa like a mantra. Nampa means to pick up, someone on the street.
To try a pickup line or
So
chat
he's
up.
nampa nampa nampa.
He's a bit of a baka guy.
We were trying to feed him pickup lines in Japanese to say, but he just would not remember even the most basic stuff
Were you
we're trying to
teaching
show
him really bad stuff?
No, so he's like, what's a good line to approach a girl? And we're trying to tell him to say I'm not from here. Would you mind showing me around? Would you mind guiding me? But he was even screwing that up and just making words up in the middle of a sentence.